Good morning. Energy giant Shell is due to announce billions of pounds of profit in the first 3 months of this year. It follows last year's record amounts and comes as households and businesses struggle with rising fuel bills. I'll be looking at the numbers.
Good morning. Sporting history is made by Erling Haaland. He gets his 35th goal to break the record for the number scored in a Premier League season as Manchester City return to the top of the table.
There are just 2 days to go until the coronation. Excitement's building on the Mall as people camp out to see the new king.
And it's a big weekend of celebrations that all culminate on Monday with the big help out.
Big Ben will be lit up with a series of projections over the next 4 nights to mark the King's coronation.
The light show is due every night until Sunday, and images of the national flowers of all 4 home nations are rose, thistle, daffodil and shamrock. They're going to be projected onto the London landmark in red, white and blue.
14 minutes past 6, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has announced its class of 2023. Kate Bush, George Michael and Missy Elliott among those to be added this year.
Kate Bush hasn't released new music for more than a decade, but she's seen a recent surge in popularity thanks to the use of that song, Running Up That Hill. It was used in the hit Netflix drama Stranger Things.
Political parties have been making their final pitch to voters on the last day of campaigning for local elections across England. They are set to visit battleground areas before polls open on Thursday to elect around 8,000 councillors and 4 local mayors. The polls will decide who will run services in 230 local councils. However, they are also being closely watched as a key test of public opinion before the general election is expected to happen next year. The UK's financial watchdog is planning to make it easier for companies to list their shares on the London Stock Exchange rather than New York or elsewhere. The Financial Conduct Authority says it wants to scrap premium listing requirements, which can deter startups and newer companies. It says the move will make the UK more competitive with stock markets around the world. An animal welfare charity has taken the UK government to court in an effort to end the practice of breeding so-called Franken chickens. Up to 90% of the chickens sold in the UK are reared through intensive selective breeding. This means that fast-growing poultry can be brought to market much sooner. The charity says that their rapid growth can cause severe health problems for the birds, such as leg deformities, organ failure, and heart attacks.
Let's take a look at today's papers and start with the Daily Mail, which is leading on the huge security operation around the King's coronation. The paper says more than 11,500 officers will be deployed to help police the event and that facial recognition technology will be used for the first time. The Mirror headline is King protest warning, with senior police officers saying there will be what they call an extremely low threshold for criminal behaviour camouflaged as protest at the coronation and pledging that officers will react swiftly to it.
Let's have a look at the Daily Express, leading on real hope in the battle to beat Alzheimer's, reporting that a new medication has been found to slow the progression of the disease in patients who showed early symptoms. And moving on to The Guardian, detailing a study which has found that some of the UK's most elite private schools benefited from the slave trade through donations and endowments worth tens of millions of pounds in today's money. The paper also has a picture you can see there of the British tennis star Emma Raducanu recovering from hand surgery, so she will be missing the French Open and Wimbledon for sure this year.
We'll take a look at what's making today's front pages. After Tuesday's security alert at Buckingham Palace, the Metro reports that a ring of steel has been thrown around King Charles for Saturday's coronation. According to the front page of the Daily Mail, it's the biggest security operation ever. The Mirror says police have warned there'll be swift action against any anti-monarchy demonstrations that turn to criminality. And the Express says there's real hope that a new drug treatment could bring an end to Alzheimer's. And that's also the lead story for the Daily Telegraph there. Well, The Guardian claims an exclusive with a report on the extent of historic links between the slave trade and some of Britain's top schools. And the Financial Times reports that the head of the London Stock Exchange wants higher pay for UK company bosses to stop them moving overseas. And finally, The Sun reports that superstar singer Taylor Swift has a new boyfriend, the front man of the band, the 1975 Matt Healy. And if you want to see any of those front pages again or read the stories, you can scan the QR code on the screen.